Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
Every time makes me feel good. Howdy, all. Welcome back to Where No Man Wants to Go reviews. Nobody's seen me for a week outside of a video or two. I'm fine.
No, we saw you last night.
You saw my avatar.
Yeah, close enough.
Close enough.
It was a good week. I see you in my dreams.
Why you got to do it? Why you got to do this?
Weird.
Why you got?
You don't know what type of dreams they are.
You're eating me. You're murdering me. You're doing. I'm gonna assume
you're in the right track.
Physical harm is caused to my.
You're in the right track.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, welcome everybody to Where No Man Wants to Go reviews, where we take time to rip apart Starfleet Academy, deservedly so. And this week will be no different because, it was really dumb. It was really dumb. But first, let's say hi to the crew. Brad, we're about on the same wavelength here with this episode.
Yeah, I had a chance to watch both yours and Jed and Adam's review beforehand. A lot of commonalities, and as always, a couple things you guys missed, some things I missed, and that's kind of where we all come together. And Dermy is the new guy, and we answer all the questions.
Yeah, he misses everything.
Adam knows a lot of my thoughts because I was.
Yeah, he DMs me a running dialogue while he's watching, and I go to sleep and I wake up and it's just, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why is that happening? I was thinking, I was asleep, man. I can't.
We don't know. We really don't know.
Well, I asked him. I could ask Jed or ask Brad, but I don't know if you guys want my late night DMs.
Well,
I just won't respond to DMs. I was sleeping.
Oh, I was still awake because he DM'd me. It was right after Ballbusters ended, and I was still awake. I had not decided to clock out for the night yet. But Jed wisely did probably clock out. How you doing, Jed?
This is a very poor way to celebrate Valentine's Day. You're supposed to be with the people you love or doing some self-love. This is masochism at best.
Jed, I completely disagree. When we're celebrating VD today, we need to talk about STD as well as the burn. That's relevant when we talk about SA.
They do bring.
I'm just using acronyms for short things.
Yeah,
they do bring up the Discovery. So.
Again, Brad.
They want you to think it's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. I'm asking you this now, but I was going to ask it, Brad. Do you think they're going to cameo any Discovery before the season's over?
Yeah, they're cameoing Tilly.
They are.
Yeah, Tilly.
Yeah, Tilly. Tilly was actually supposed to be in it much more, but then she didn't. I think probably they wouldn't recognize her since she went on Ozempic. So,
that's right.
Yeah, she's the fat ginger from Discovery, right?
Not anymore. Actually, she looks kind of good now. It's odd. I didn't recognize her at the red carpet.
She's non-binary, but she's married and with children.
Yeah, she just came out as either bisexual or non-binary.
Yeah, but she's married with children.
Yeah, it's purely performative.
Quick question: why was Julian Denson in this episode?
Who?
Huh?
You know that fat Latino person who started hyperventilating when people died?
Combadge.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Combat. That's an actual person.
Okay. We call her. I swallowed my Combadge. That's a first. That's a first episode joke.
Julian Denson is the fat kid from Deadpool 2.
Oh,
they
look exactly alike.
Who was the Firestarter dude.
Yes.
Yeah, who everybody hates. All right, we have to say that's a point that I made in my review that that character, her first introduction to her, she walks up to the doctor and says, "I think I swallowed my Combadge," and he goes again.
And there's so much
already.
Yeah, but there's so much in there. It's like, I think I did. I don't know if I did or not. I think I did. And already, meaning it's happened before. And then the treatment is to use a hypo spray as opposed to transporting it out of her.
So here's the point of this, though. That character multiple times, and then during the first episode as well, she has a freak out, autism freak out. She's also autism. going red alert. Red. She's walking around going red alert.
Yeah.
Red alert. Alert. She is even more tismed than Sam. She's more tism.
Well, she tismed at the tism in the second episode. Like, you're sucking up all the energy in the room, Sam.
Tism off.
There is no reason this character should be
Thank
in
you.
Starfleet at all.
This is somebody who shouldn't be there.
This is someone who
is supposed to be the best of the best.
Adam, do you remember? I'm going to say there's an episode in DS9 in the future. I'm not going to describe much, but there's some very special individuals who became special for a certain way, and they all hang out. Do you remember how special they were? She did not. Yeah. She didn't have the same reason that they were special.
No. She's just dumb tismed. Yes. So far, I swallowed my comm badge. Tism hasn't even expressed her a use for her tism.
Like the other thing, honestly, is the way that they're presenting these kids here. This is not an elite academy. This is not an elite school of higher education. It's basically high school. They took anybody.
Yeah.
It's the dregs.
I mean, why would you take someone who eats their comm badge? I mean,
right here in this episode, we get it again.
They take her off the bridge.
She gets on the bridge. She sees reaction. I'll give Bitch Boy and Admiral's daughter Genesis at least credit. They didn't flinch. They kept their shit together. They get credit for that. But she freaks out. Oh, we'll just send her to the med bay. No, you're expelled. You are expelled. You do not have what it takes to be in Starfleet. You're going to see worse shit out in the cosmos. You're going to see worse shit.
I really think we should stop calling her Admiral's daughter and just call her stripper name, since Genesis Live literally. So coming to the stage next is Genesis Live. I mean, come on, that's a fucking stripper's name.
You're not wrong. I'm just used to it.
That's what she's mentally equiped to handle.
All right. So
we should probably get started on the actual episode.
We're already off to the races here. Criticizing a point that I was going to bring up that this is just bad, but here we are. I don't know the real titles of the episodes. I make up my own. This
Come What's Away.
Come What's Away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I refer to
from
it as
Shakespeare.
They don't understand needs of the many. That's what this episode is to me.
There's other issues in that statement as well, but we'll talk about that at the end. Hey, should we just start off with what we started off with on the episode, since that's a big topic of conversation?
Yeah. All right. Oh, hi. Yeah. Hi, Dermy. There. We introduced.
Oh, hi.
Dermy.
Yeah.
Hi, Dermy.
Yeah. Because I'm looking up what Come What's
Away. It's in Romeo and Juliet, I believe.
Is it? Okay. So I read Romeo and Juliet, but it's not my top tier Shakespeare memory.
No, 12th Night.
Oh, really?
It's a song.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's Come Away, Come Away, Death.
Anyway, moving on. All right. So hail and howdy to the chat. We hope you guys are doing well out there. We thank you all for joining us on this Saturday evening. We hope you have a good time as we go forward with this. You can show your love by hitting like buttons and subscribing. That's all we ask of you. Anyway, so we start this episode with exactly what we knew it was coming. Maybe not this episode. We didn't watch any previews, but we had seen this in trailers. Hardcore effing.
Well, I wouldn't say hardcore, but
all right, softcore effing.
Hey, it was hetero.
It was hetero.
Are we sure?
Yeah, the camera half an inch and you're seeing full boobs. So
you're not seeing.
Princess Tooth had no boob whatsoever.
Yeah.
There's no side boob at all.
There is an underboob shot. There is an underboob shot. I saw.
There's not much. I mean, it's like the plains of Kansas. Come on.
Princess Mulvaney is pretty apt.
She looked like
I stick by Princess Mulvaney.
I now call her Princess Tooth because I took your.
I would rather have stripper chick than her.
I'm not going to argue that.
It's very lucky that they ended up having sex right before a life or death situation where her magic telepathy, which only happens to people she sleeps with, is needed to save lives.
Wait, I can explain that. That because I did in my video.
Okay.
You want to do it now?
Do it now. I don't care.
The basis for this is what we saw in the first episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, Encounter at Farpoint. Deanna talks to Riker in his mind. They have shared intimacies together, and they have formed a mental connection. Now, the problem is, we know from this and Next Generation that this was a long-term relationship. As far as we can tell, this may just be their first time banging. Also, it's in the same dorm that he shares with Fishboy and Beta Man.
Yeah, Bro
brother.
Boy.
Where are they?
He must have put a sock on the door.
That's what I was
But wait,
saying.
you can't do that. It's sliding doors.
These people don't differentiate from emotional intimacy that comes after years of relationship and boning a one night stand. There's not a difference to them.
See, that's what
they're high schoolers, so they don't understand emotional intimacy either.
No, I'm talking about the writers.
Well, that's
yes,
also
the writers.
True.
Yeah, well, they probably are. But yeah, that's what I feared the basis was, because Deanna and Wilt shared that ability, and it even continued throughout. He would, in fact, it was very key in the last season of Picard, because she was able to use her mental connection to her husband to locate them, because there's that ability. But the fact, it basically makes it seem like I had sex with you, and now we can mind. He says Betazoids can mind speak, which is again technically
telepathy.
True, but they never say telepathy. In fact, this episode proves to me that they do not understand what Betazoids' powers actually are.
Yeah.
But he's like suddenly shocked by this. He doesn't know that like this is something Betazoids do, and it is invasive when she accesses his memory.
It was very invasive.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
She should not have touched his Teddy Ruxpin.
Yes.
But that's not a euphemism. That's Teddy Ruxpin.
That was I'm surprised. I'm surprised it took me this many episodes to make that joke. So,
listen. He did tell her not to do it. She touched it. They saw things, but he also did overreact a little bit.
No, well, all right. That comes to the next part of this. So, this was a heavy problems episode. There's so much forced drama in this episode, and first of all, what she did, like Brad just said, what she did was very invasive. You don't go effing around in somebody's mind. Doesn't matter if you just had a physical, intimate moment. The mind and the body are two separate levels of intimacy, especially in a world where there is telepathy. So that was wrong. But then she turns him into the bad guy for her breaking into his innermost thoughts. I just wanted to share this with you.
You can't accept me as I am. This is just who I am. It's not some weird Betazoid thing.
It is a weird Betazoid thing.
Actually, it's a normal Betazoid thing, but they're acting like it's weird.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess if you haven't been around a Betazoid before,
who knows what he's been around?
He's been around.
No. The Betazoids are acting like it's unusual. Like their mind speak is something you have to achieve intimacy to achieve. With at least Deanna, that made sense because she was an empath, so she needed that little extra help.
And also, it's a different species. So absolutely between Betazoids, they could do that no problem, but he's a different species, so he's not naturally telepathic.
Yeah.
So achieving
dogs.
I don't know if he's coming. I don't think so. Let me cut that.
Isn't this chick supposed to be deaf?
No. Her dad can't. And she made him deaf.
I laughed out loud.
So
I did catch that.
Laughed out loud
because she had a childhood tantrum with her powers. She blew out his auditory system.
Oh, thank God she didn't destroy any more dilithium.
Imagine if she'd been on a
They
planet
really
of
like the
dilithium.
Tism screams, the magic Tism kids.
I thought dilithium is gone.
It's inert.
Not all of it.
What's the replacement? I haven't understood what is powering the Athena.
Okay, they're probably doing. It's probably fake dilithium.
Okay, I know this is jumping ahead. They said that they're still using dilithium.
They do. They said, which means they're probably making They might be making artificial dilithium. I don't know.
I was trying to do some research on alternatives to actually.
Only reason I brought.
They were talking about on FNT.
But yeah, you can't establish something as crazy as the burn and then just say, "Oh yeah, we just fixed it. Yep, it's all fine now." I mean, we got to repair the galaxy, but yeah, we can travel and warp again. No problem.
Yeah. Well, you have
to delve into
unless you're Discovery and you got your spore drive. How would that work?
Well, they should be using the spore drive actually, but they're not. They should share that with everyone, but they're not. But yeah, as to the sex scene,
we'll get to that. We will get to all the problems with the singularity drive.
I would not have a problem with this in any other show, but Star Trek. It does not fit tonally with Star Trek. I mean, I have no problem watching like a TV MA or R-rated movie or anything like a natural sex scene between a man and a woman.
Yeah.
Only that's my preferred thing. I'm not watching others, but it just is totally wrong for Star Trek. 100%. And like I said, the development of the mental connection, I think, is rushed. It's not earned. It looks like they're dating for a few weeks. And we're halfway through the semester. We already heard that last time, and there's no indication they were together. We had more indication that Gaydon and Blondie are a couple than these two are. So they just like kissed the first time last week.
They specifically said in Sam's episode that they hadn't gotten together yet. So they only started dating in between the last episode and this one.
That's not enough time to establish that connection.
And listen,
it's very emotional.
We're not being prudes here. There's plenty of sex in Star Trek. Star Trek is a very sexy show, but it's usually just
we like alien ladies, okay?
Passionate kisses and embraces, not simulated softcore sex.
And for 5 minutes, it went on for so long. If you just got a quick shot of them in bed and then switch to the Mind Palace thing,
exactly.
That's fine.
If you'd come in and just seen her, on top like that, that'd been fine. I know some people are like, "Well, there's female dominance." I don't care. I like a woman's on top. That's fucking fine by me.
Well, I would say there's female dominance because she ends up doing the whole "I want you to feel."
Well, there's the problem. This episode is wrought with female in control. The women are all in control in this episode. Can we agree on that?
They're also all retarded,
but they make terrible decisions. Everything is all the bad decisions are made by women, and women are and the men just stand. Literally, Fish Boy stands there with his arm crossed, affirming Genesis the whole episode. She did it.
Dean of the War College did too. Girl. What did he contribute? He was asked a couple questions and answered them. The Dean of the War College should take over in a situation like this. I'm a military leader. This is a military situation. I'm trained for this. But no, he's just like, all right, I'll stand here and wait for you to ask me something. Please and thank you.
If nothing else, there should have been like co-captaining or something. Like he should have been putting together some military response. She should have been like faking negotiations or something. That's what would happen in actual Star Trek. But the other thing
they don't understand the fucking military. I talked about it a lot in my review, but this is a court-martialable offense, and it lined up perfectly. I'm still watching TNG, right? And I just watched the episode where there was the crash at Starfleet Academy where Wesley's friend died. So I just watched that episode, and we talked about it last week.
I included a clip from that, a voiceover from that at the end of my video.
And it's incredibly relevant, even though initially Starfleet just thought, this was an accident with cadets, whatnot. We're still going to have an inquiry just to make sure, just to dot our I's and cross our T's. And then they found out that there was more going on and investigated further, obviously. But even when they were certain there was nothing wrong, they still investigated. The Dean of the War College and Ake should be up on major charges right now. I was in the military.
We'll get into that.
If somebody dies, it doesn't matter.
Well,
you're getting investigated.
There's all kinds of problems. We're gonna dissect Captain Holly Hunter and her problems, but real quick, Judas Goat Barbecue for $5. Kirk was able to show he'd slept with Ellen by putting on his boots, sitting on the side of his bed. Nothing explicit. Classy.
I think it's Alon.
It's very classy. Thank you,
Yeah.
Judas, for the support on my channel. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you go. So it's classy. It's classy. There's a classy way to do this stuff and a way not to. This show has no class.
Oh, no shit.
None whatsoever. No whatsoever.
Which is ironic because it's about a school.
It's trying to be CW, but it's not even relevant to be CW.
And during their little toss in the bed, they talk about hooking up.
Oh yeah, that's a weird conversation. Our first
dude, this weird thing about the Deltons. Now the Deltons, you know the history of the Deltons, right?
No, actually. Well, they explained it to us. Yeah, I kind of moved past that. I didn't even touch it in my review. I was more pissed off that they were talking about using the term hooking up.
I agree. I spotted that too. Because I said hookup culture is really big in the 32nd century, by the way. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Right. Go ahead though.
Deltons, that is the race that Lieutenant Ilea is in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. And they have to take an oath of celibacy because you can't have sex with them. They are two sexualized beings, and it actually can hurt people. The emotional
I'd forgotten
strain.
that.
Yeah, so that's why there's an oath of celibacy, which is interesting because like Will Decker had a relationship with her, and it's like, oh, that's kind of dicey. Then actually, that was the basis for Will
Riker,
and Deanna. Yep.
That is interesting. So why do they bathe people in milk and then spin around you?
They just made that up. They just made that up.
Now it's perverted.
and because now it's
Star
canon.
Trek
Really
used to have
perverted.
such class, like we're talking. It's a sophisticated show. There was class to it, and while the content I think should always be PG, maybe PG-13 in the violence and stuff, it should stick to the content being mature. I want to have philosophical questions. I want to wonder how these races are dealing with these huge concepts, and even the simple ones like the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. That's not it's a simple concept that you can have so much great conversations about, narrative meat about, and everything like that. And that's not what we get in Star Trek these days. Like Jeremy keeps saying, this is insulting to CW. Because CW at least knows its audience. It's made for moronic teenagers. Star Trek should never be for moronic teenagers. It's elevating.
Star Trek is a smart show, and it used to be written by smart people, which is why it was not hugely popular. Star Trek was not like Star Wars. Star Wars was hugely popular. Star Trek fans were always called Trekkies. They were like the weird ones because like this weird esoteric niche.
Yeah,
very much niche.
I finished First Contact because I love First Contact. Such a good movie. It is watching it back because I haven't watched it for a while, and watching it with like some of the knowledge I have now, it is a whole lot smarter than I thought it was originally. I thought it was originally some shooty, boomy action movie, but there's actually a lot more depth to a lot of the things that get said there. Yeah. And I always have the Picard freaking out that he has to blow up the ship and stuff like that. I have that, but there's a lot more meaning to that for Picard and his connection to the Borg and all that. And you don't have anything like that here. A movie that some people...
The line must be drawn here.
Yes.
Can you imagine them trying to replicate a big speech like that? It's like what we talk about in Doctor Who, Adam and Jeremy, with the doctor speeches. Every doctor needs to have a good speech, at least one, to embody the character. That's when you know that's the fucking doctor, when there's a doctor speech. There's never been one of those in
we haven't had a doctor speech in 5 years.
Chibnall.
We haven't had a doctor speech in 5 years.
At least.
That's because Doctor Who ended. I don't know what you're talking about. It ended with Capaldi.
2017, yeah. Peter Capaldi just gave up.
Yeah. So
he was tired.
All right. So we get to the meat of the episode. So first of all, I also had a problem with them having sex. Clearly, they're in warp, and aren't you on duty technically? But no, we're just gonna have.
Well,
there's no rules or regulations. He's hacked Starfleet's main computer network 3 times already. He can do whatever he wants because he's a surrogate son. Over at
this point, we're long past 90 days.
Oh, yeah. We never knew what that probation was. That community service, we never saw it.
There's no concept.
Milk something. I don't know.
There's no concept of time, of sequencing, of what they are doing. I mean, we don't even see them. Have we really seen them in class other than that one time at the second episode with Tig Notaro?
I guess. Well, you did see the debate. They were in class then, I guess.
No, that was debate club.
Yeah, that was extracurriculaire.
I thought that was in class.
That was club.
It was club.
Oh.
All we're talking about is clubs. When no one sees any class. But I mean, I guess like we're saying, like this is like the first like field trip. Like it's taking whatever skills they've learned, meager that they are, to go on this mission.
This operation should never
all right, so
happened.
we're there then. The whole point of this mission is they're going on a field trip exercise in emergency situations or whatever.
Why are they doing it on a ship?
Well,
they have holodecks.
Bingo.
And right now, I'm going to go back to something somebody in the chat said earlier. Make sure I have it right here. Right here. Escalor said, SL Core, SL Core says right here, we don't know what goes on in the burn. We do know this, though. They said somehow Starfleet still controls their sectors. Apparently not. Holly Hunter makes it very clear that they can't protect their own borders right now. They can barely protect their own borders. And they go to this graveyard of ships. It's bad idea. Bad idea.
When you have technological alternatives, and I know I keep going back to TNG, but if you want to have a thing where you don't want the cadets to know that it's fake, there are ways around it. Like they trick Wesley in his Starfleet admittance interview with that fire. He thinks it's real. He thinks he's choosing between life and death when, of course, it's all fake. There are ways around putting someone in real fear. And the Kobayashi Maru is an excellent maneuver. That's a great way of teaching it, whether or not you know what's real. And yeah, you've got holodecks, you've got simulators like you saw in Wrath of Khan when we were introduced to the Kobayashi Maru directly. There are ways around this. You're in a galaxy that is full of marauders, that's not controlled. It's a wild land. And you're going to take a bunch of kids.
Somalian pirates.
Somalian pirates.
But you're going to take these first semester cadets with no experience, the first class of Starfleet in like 100 years, to a ship that killed its entire crew, and the singularity drive is so unstable that it's a dangerous environment.
But they keep
why
going
is it
back.
still there?
It's
They
the
keep going
first
back.
class of they keep going back. So it's the first class of Starfleet that's been there.
But War College has
they've-
been there, yeah.
And
War College has been there to stall shit, to do shit prior.
if this thing is so
Why?
important, why haven't they towed the ship back to Sector 001 and just have it there for the exercise?
And that's fine. Or make you take an old ship that you have on hand. It's like, all right, this is going to be decommissioned. Might as well make it into an exercise.
Oh, okay.
Why is the drive on the ship?
Why is it still there?
Why would
I'm
you
sure
leave
there's
this-
scientists who want to tear
we'll
it
get to
apart
the,
Yes.
we'll
and
get
make
to that in
it
a
work.
second. Or you know what? Let's get to that right now. The whole point of the singularity drive is retarded because
Everyone's saying it now. We've been saying it from the beginning.
Romulans, there's a thing called the Romulan Star Empire. Their entire power sources were run on artificial point singularities. I'm sure you made the Romulans refugees. I'm sure they're a part of the Federation now. Their scientists are probably still there. You're telling me that they didn't share the knowledge to make a singularity drive work?
They and the Vulcans have united. They live on the planet Navarre, and they eventually joined back. The Ramo, Vulcan, whatever they're called now, are now part of the Federation again. Why wouldn't you do that? Also, aren't there maybe some people out there who understand this stuff? I mean, there are other ways of travel than just antimatter using dilithium as the focusing device.
Yeah. So it's once again, the writers of Curse and Trek in the show don't understand. You've created a illogical plot device that doesn't line up.
They don't care about Star Trek, Adam. Again, I referenced that article that I read and I put into my recent video. Go check it out. But even the actors, everybody, they don't care about Star Trek. They never watched Star Trek. They only started engaging with it when they started actually
they can't
being
see
hired
themselves
onto
in it.
They can't see themselves in it. They never cared. It's all about the message, which I don't even fucking know what the message here is. Other than
there's that interview with a potential writer who said he was going to, work for Alex Kurtzman, and when he found out, Kurtzman found out that this writer loved Star Trek, he said, "No, we're not hiring anyone who's familiar with the show." That's the claim going on from this writer right now, which I entirely believe. He wanted to make his own thing. How much Star Trek does Kurtzman himself know?
Nothing.
Did
He
he
does
have
not
a
know
history with
much.
the franchise?
I
besides
can
the JJ
I can
movies?
answer that. I can answer that because they had in the behind the scenes on the Blu-ray of Star Trek 2009, they had a listing of all of the director and all the producers and writers and their Star Trek knowledge. Robert Orsi, the late Robert Orsi, who fell out with both Kurtzman and JJ, his went above 10. He was the guru. Of course, we know JJ's not a real fan. He's down around 5. Kurtzman said he was about a 3 or 4. So his knowledge is not good, even though Kurtzman is my age. He's like 52, 53.
you have less knowledge than JJ.
He's the perfect age.
Yeah. I started watching in 1980. So 46 years now.
I started watching in 84.
I know people
Started
that
watching in
used to.
2018.
Child.
I watched the movies on a lot, but
you're speaking well for like a 5-year-old.
yeah,
You're speaking better than Sam.
yeah.
Real quick, just to ask Setlick's answer the question. He's asked this before when he's getting ready for it. Basically, you watch the movie, you watch 7 seasons of SG1. You just watch the seasons, and when you get to season 8 of SG1, you then balance it between SG1 and Atlantis. And the way I describe it, which Jeremy got wrong last night, you watch a disc of SG1 season 8, then you watch the disc of Atlantis, or you could look up what's on each disc. You can do that, and you just go back and forth, and it lines up pretty well. And then eventually, and at the end of SG1 season 10, before you start Atlantis season 3, you watch Arc of Truth, and then when you finish Atlantis season 4, you watch Continuum, then you watch season 5, and then you watch Universe. It's pretty much
you can get away without watching Universe, though. Really,
you can get away, but even if you want to have the complete experience,
it's good to at least watch it once. It's kind of like Enterprise for me. I think most fans should watch it the first time, but when you're doing your second rewatch,
there's also probably a lot of sites have probably already put together the actual list of how to watch it chronologically. I mean, I would imagine there's a way that someone's put together which episodes of Star Trek to watch chronologically from original series all the way to Enterprise to get an actual continuity. So like this is happening on DS9 this week. This is happening in Voyage at the same time, that sort of thing.
I'm not doing that. No,
I'm not doing
luckily,
that. Luckily,
Voyager is completely divorced from DS9, at least enough that it's not that big.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about. I mean, there's a little bit of crossover
in the beginning,
Voyager seasons, in the beginning, and then later Voyager seasons when there's something else on. So it's okay. Anyway,
what Judah says in my chat, though, I want to address where he says if the Singularity ship, all the crew had actually died, it would be a war grave. That would just be incredibly offensive to be using it in that way, replicating their deaths in such a way and walking over their graves. I'm sure they've retrieved the bodies by this point, but
how's the ship destroyed? I mean, the ship is intact. It doesn't make any sense. They say the ship is destroyed. It's right there.
We don't know. And
there's a way to find out.
Oh,
is there her comic book?
I don't know.
I would hope there's a comic book adaptation.
All right. So problems happen. Flesh-eating aliens attack the
aliens from Riddick.
Apparently they're cannibals, guys.
They can't call them cannibals because they're aliens. They eat. I call them omnivores because they'll eat everything.
They are from Riddick. They are literally necromorphs mixed.
Someone said they were Reavers from
Firefly.
They're not humans. They're hybrids.
They did say half humans,
but they're still more hybrids. So
I don't know if you guys will find this funny, but I caught myself in my review after I published it. I accidentally called them wraiths from Atlantis.
You also called them fates a lot too.
That's what they called themselves.
Furies.
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 Okay, did I say?
You said fates like 20 times.
Brad, have you ever seen?
But everyone's saying Furies. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying
Riddick.
Once that was it.
They remind me a lot of the necromorphs from Chronicles of Riddick.
Okay.
Because the leader in charge of the necromorphs, he's both living and dead.
Only
and
him
he
though.
has that.
Only
he
him.
has that. He's the
shadow.
He's the one that
The clicking. I couldn't figure it out.
Annoying.
But then you know what reminded me of the episode Schisms in Next Gen, where they took Riker and all the crew members into the pocket universe, little clicky creatures.
The Furies are literally just an amalgamation of like monstrous creatures throughout vast different versions of sci-fi. Not Star
They're
Trek.
just so generic. They're just incredibly generic. The most obvious things you could think of. I think the clicking was to set up the sonar vulnerability. They're like bats. They're using the clicking for echolocation.
Is it really a vulnerability? Because it was all a trick.
Well, they end up showing that it is their vulnerability. So
they never use it.
No.
Never saw it.
I have a counter at that. When we get to that, I have a counter to that Sonic idea.
We're here to explore the singularity drive in a training exercise. We get teams. And the combination War College cadet team that goes to the ship is called Alpha Team, and you have Beta Team made up of I swallowed my comm badge. Red, blue. I don't know. That Alpha, Beta, they're all.
It was
whatever.
red and blue.
It was whatever.
Yeah, they just had different teams. They're all betas.
They're all betas.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, and then you had Fish Bitch, Genesis, and I swallowed my comm badge on the bridge. And I pointed this out in my review. Is literally the Athena on a skeleton crew right now?
Yeah, you never see any crew besides the main ones in the cadets. You're muted, Brad.
Brad, you muted.
It's just utter incompetence on Aki's part.
I didn't see you hit it. I don't understand the ship. I understand it's a school, but apparently there's no other teachers. You'd think there'd be some teachers who are like lieutenant commander, commander level that have some skills. You don't have security or anything on the ship. No. I mean,
security are holograms now. Security are holograms.
Wouldn't the dean of the War College also classify captain?
Commander, not captain. He's got 4 pips, so they call him Commander.
So he's Aki's bitch.
Yeah, he is so subservient to her now. After last week, he's totally subservient to her now. Totally. Anyway,
we have an example. We have an example of a cadet ship in an episode of DS9, which I'm not going to talk a lot about in case Fractured is watching. But there were officers on the ship.
Well, that's my point. When all the ship breaks down now, and the Furies come on there, they captured the team on there. Immediately, all cadets should be sidelined, and the adults should take over. But the children run the show. Genesis is perfect.
Genesis, fine. Use the probe to find him.
They don't have any sense of scale. Like we're going to talk about, I'm sure, with the traveled instances and how they're able to get everywhere.
Yeah.
Just shows up. But it's even true with Genesis's plan. It's like if a probe goes sub warp and sub what is the term in Star Trek? Sub impulse. They'll be able to find him. Do you not know how big space is? If it's sub impulse, you're going at speeds that we're currently capable of as humans. You can't search anything in a solar system like that.
Impulse drive is a quarter of the speed of light. That is
cool. I'm still stuck on a hologram being scared of being jettisoned.
All right, let's talk about Sam in this episode. I've been saving.
I have questions.
I took it out of my review.
I know exactly.
I didn't want to. I could have gone on for 10, 15 minutes just on the illogical stuff surrounding her in this episode.
I know.
All right, I didn't get it.
All right, here's the thing. First of all, why does she need any sort of protection? She doesn't breathe. She's not affected by vacuum. So why is she wearing shielding? She is on red team purely so that she can interface with the computer for plot device. She's there as a plot device. But here's my thing. All right, Brett, I'll go you say. When they're talking about, we're going to start eject, when the Furies are going, who we're going to eject first, Sam should have gone, do me, I'll go. Because guess what? She could have gotten back.
That would have been interesting, yeah. And then she is able to survive out there, able to help them from the outside. That would have been a creative decision, utilizing their skills in more than just, hey, I computer lady, I talk to computer thing.
Right, go ahead, Brett.
That's because they did not, before I get to the point I was going to make, they did not recognize the potential they could have had with this episode by leaving it to the cadets to figure out a way out of it. If it was been fake or not, if it had been real or not, they could have actually done a thing instead of bringing Paul Giamatti in for this whole other forced drama thing, trying to build up Captain Ake to be something she's not. But what hit me was when she got shot, I'm like, wait a minute. Where are the hollow emitters on the ship? Why would there? How is she there? And if she got shot, how does wait, how does she get shot? She knows she can let them pass through her.
We've seen energy go through her during laser tag.
Mm-hmm. She shouldn't be afraid of the atmosphere or losing atmosphere, or dying essentially without oxygen. She shouldn't be afraid of being eaten.
Yeah,
she should be able to pass. All the phasers should pass fucking through her. Why are you terrified, woman? There is
precedent.
They forget that she's a hologram until they need her to be a hologram.
And the worst part is they have a hologram on the show, and there's precedent for that hologram altering his personality and his capabilities because he went from EMH to ECH, emergency medical hologram, emergency command hologram, and he turned his uniform red. So then he became Command Picardo as opposed to Medical Picardo. But they just and I don't understand her powers. She just reaches in. What is she? Automan? I don't know if anyone remembers Automan.
So somebody watched Stargate with a replicator where they put their hands.
Oh, for God's sakes!
Yeah, just like they watched Mass Effect. You know what programmable matter is? It's Omnigel.
Yeah, you said
Omnigel.
They don't have any original ideas of their own. They just take and bastardize.
Now that you bring up the replicators, now I'm even more upset.
See, but I'm actually offended. You kind of mentioned it. This episode could have worked if the twist at the end was it really was all fake. The Furies were fake. If it was a holodeck.
Example. We talked about Stargate. Remember the Stargate episode? I think it's season 5 where they have the cadet training program
Yes.
for possible
Oh, that's
in
such a
SG
good
in the
episode.
SGC, and it's all a play.
Mm-hmm.
And to the very end, but it's a test of character. And then at the end, they say, "Is it over? I don't know. Is it that the whole thing was fake?" But
What it should have been, it should have been the cadets were isolated.
Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah.
Yes.
The cadets should have been totally isolated. There should have been nothing with Holly Hunter. There should have been no Paul Giamatti. Should have just focused on the cadets. They're like, they are cut off and they're scared and they have to use what skills they have to figure it out. And then at the end, it turns out to be an exercise.
Yeah.
And the instructor dying early on makes sense with that, giving them a sense of security at first and then take that away. That's what I mean.
In the coming of age. Remember when Wesley was pulling out the one guy and the other guy died in there? And he walks out and just nods at Wesley like, hey, good job, dude. And it's like, oh my God, it was all fake.
Make a whole episode of that, and that's actually really smart, really well done. And the action is justifiable in the context of a school.
And you could have the characters, the cadets mouthing off against each other and trying to recognize, someone's got to take command. And it's like, who's going to take command? And it's like, not this bullshit of like, I want to be command of the laser tag team. It's like, this is a command situation.
Real test of command.
Take over.
Yes.
Let the
right here,
Romulan take over.
Right here, a true gamer who played it understands. People who are fans realize already that this doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense.
I love
but
that.
It's being praised as the best episode so far. People take a little action and they're like, "Hey, it was action packed, so it's the best one."
Right here, I have one right here. I'm just gonna show it since you mentioned that.
I can explain why this is deemed the best episode, because if you remove all elements of Star Trek, it's not atrocious.
This person actually said it's the best of the series so far and one of my favorite Trek episodes ever. I don't believe this person has watched any Star Trek.
Check. What is
editor,
this
reporter, author, former USA Today. I don't know what BR is. New York Times, Washington Post. Author,
how old are you, dude?
Trekker.
How old is this man? I mean, I'd like to know how.
He looks middle aged.
Yeah,
he looks younger than Brad, older than Adam.
He's black.
Not by much.
There are people older than Adam?
Shut up.
Yeah, it's really rare.
It's me.
Yeah.
Anyway, but you're right. There are people out there who think
here's one. Early reviews describe it as fast-paced, high-stakes episode that feels reminiscent. Hold on, I need it. Of Deep Space Nine.
It's only high stakes and fast pace if you remove all elements of Star Trek. It's generic sci-fi slop at that point in time.
Yeah.
If you remove the hologram and any element of Star Trek, there's
uniforms
here. The uniforms and all that. If you just removed all of that shit, there's something there.
This is a straight to DVD movie from 20 years ago.
Yes.
This is sci-fi. This is a sci-fi movie. This is a pure sci-fi TV series. Not connected to anything. It's just wearing a Star Trek skin suit.
Actually, I don't even want to say that because there's a lot of good straight to sci-fi movies that are pretty damn good.
They were called B movies. They were called B movies, and they knew what they were.
I mean, you want to see another great one of like cadets learning to be officers and everything. Go watch Space Above and Beyond.
Oh,
that was an amazing series.
Yeah. Good show. All right, so everything goes to shit. The Furies come on. Commander who died quickly. They eject the body into space. Combat freaks out. Just put her in sickbay. She's fine. And now it's about the hostage situation. And we learn about the Furies. They eat things. They're hybrids.
Before the hostage situation, with that fight scene where the instructor
shaky
dies, shaky cam to cover up the action, because it was so dark in there. That's why in my review I called it half decent. It might have been half decent action, but I couldn't see, and I was actually called out in my chat. It's like, half decent action? Well, I don't know. I couldn't see shit. But in that fight scene, I don't know if you guys noticed. So they're right outside the airlock while they're being threatened to be vented out into space, right?
Mm-hmm.
The instructor manages to get like 5 of them into the airlock, and then he shoots the control panel instead of ejecting them, and they come out a minute later and kill him.
Yes.
Don't shoot the panel. They're shooting the panel, I think, has been dumb in sci-fi for a long time. Star Wars did it, so everyone wanted to do it. And it didn't even work for more than a second.
Yeah.
Just vent them.
For cannibals, they really didn't eat much of them.
No.
They ate a leg.
They seem to eat other species, not their own, which is kind of what I thought a cannibal was.
Yeah, that's why. That's why I didn't call them
I
cannibal in
heard
my review.
Stan's defending it, the
Oh,
cannibalism. Yeah, they're like, oh, we can assume in this future society that cannibalism has been broadened the definition to include any sentient species.
Oh,
That's
I
why
can.
I called them
Then
omnivores.
then I can assume that you're full of shit, Stan.
Yeah.
Listen, as the resident cannibal here.
Yes, he has
okay,
threatened to eat me in many video games.
Yes, I have. As the resident cannibal, you
that's
don't
foreplay.
leave it. Okay, there's plenty of useful tools.
This
there.
man, in a game of Conan Exiles, this man put a leg on my meat drying rack, and I come
I did
in.
not do that, but
Yes,
Yeah,
you
but
did.
I do not.
Yes,
I
you did.
legitimately do not think that Dermy would eat all the way through a Klingon's asshole.
Which one? I'm
just
sure
quote-
he has two.
I'm
That
just-
was that
I'm
line
just-
though. That
I'm
was
just
the-
quoting.
The line.
That
yeah.
was
Oh my
line
God, the
from the
lines.
show.
Oh my
The
God.
writing is.
That has a nice slippery cat
But
piss
I'm-
aftertaste.
All right.
Sponge all over the
Wait,
place, galactic
Can I
chlamydia.
just all jokes aside on the cannibalism, there's a horror movie. I can't remember the name of it, but it's
Hold
go
on,
to
I gotta see
Brazil-
that.
people go to like the rainforest. They stumble upon an isolated tribe of just pure cannibals. Disturbing movie, full on disturbing movie. Watch it. I do suggest people watch it, but
No.
they show what an actual cannibal tribe would end up doing to like human bodies. They don't they don't loot like everything gets used.
Yeah,
guys.
they're gonna strip it clean. They're
Everything.
gonna strip it clean.
They'll start using your skull as a bull.
It's a
I'm not even
searable.
joking.
It's a searable.
They're every part of the buffalo people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Well, first of all, howdy to everybody joining us. We got a lot of people watching. We hope you guys are having a good time right now. Hit those like buttons if you're having a good time. The chat is active. We get to you guys when we can. We appreciate you all being here. Thank you for joining us so far as we come to the end of the first hour of the show. And we were not even out of the first 20 minutes of the episode. But the whole thing goes to pot, and they have to call in Paul Giamatti because he managed to drive the Furies out of his territory.
Somehow.
It just makes the universe feel so small when everyone has a personal connection to everyone. It just so happens that he's the person who can solve all their problems. It's lazy writing. They mentioned in I believe it was the Sam episode, there are trillions of life forms. There are thousands of species that have been discovered.
Mhm.
Yet everyone has a personal connection to everyone. Warp travel can take place overnight. Warships can get anywhere within 2 hours.
Fast travel.
That's JJ Trek.
A device can be
JJ Trek
built
did that.
in a device can be built on a station and transported to them in half an hour. They specifically say, "All right, this station has figured it out. They'll have this new device they're making in half an hour to us." That's
become
insane.
magic.
It is
R&B
it's just
talks about
magic.
it. It's the tech is
All
so
right.
far beyond its magic.
So
And yes, it is JJ's fault
not
because
even-
there is some
No.
nonsense with
Whatever
teleporters in
happened-
his
Yeah.
first two movies.
To
Oh no
reference
shit.
Stargate, whatever happened to like advanced societies not wanting to engage with the more primitive ones? Whatever happened to that?
Prime Directive doesn't exist.
Prime
anymore.
Directive. Yeah.
So
Everybody's
Everybody's at the
That's-
same level now
that's-
in Kurtzman Trek,
uh,
unless you're a refugee, Klingons, and
Well,
Romulans.
there are people who think the Prime Directive is immoral.
Hmm.
And I'm sure that's the Kurtzman Trek perspective.
Oh, right. So I want to talk about now all things Holly Hunter and Paul Giamatti.
Oh Jesus Christ.
I mean, but I will
worst
say
part.
this. I said this in my review. Paul Giamatti came to act in the episode. He came to act.
I don't know what
It's-
he was acting.
It's cringe as fuck, and it's cringe as fuck. But he came to act. But it's horrible. All right, Ensign, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Just dumb question. Because I have not watched the first 3 episodes.
Mhm.
Do they keep Paul Giamatti on the ship?
No, he's our villain
Okay.
of the series, and we haven't
He-
seen.
he's
him
our
since
big
the
He,
war.
bad.
he traveled here in this episode.
After he got out of his escape pod.
Yeah, he runs
He got
the
a phone
Somalian
call
pirates.
and
He
flew
runs
over
the
here.
Somalian pirates in this show.
He
Because-
he appears in the first episode. He attacks. He was put in prison by Holly Hunter originally, and that's the connection. And Caleb, he knows Caleb because Caleb's mother was working with him.
She-Hulk.
And She-Hulk, and they helped rob a shuttle for food rations, and in the process, a Starfleet officer was killed. So that's robbery with an officer being killed. That becomes felony murder. So Paul Giamatti was put in prison, as was She-Hulk, Caleb's mother. So that's
she went to rehab.
Yeah, but it's still.
It was a lesser sentence because she had a kid.
It's club fed.
she's
As a closed.
lady.
It was club fed. It was
fed.
totally club fed. Now, two things from the chat. One, Judas Goat reminds us about ships and thing. Federation ships in sectors. Now, one thing about TOS, and Brad and I have talked about this in the past, it makes it clear in TOS there's not a whole lot of ships in Starfleet at that time. So one ship was basically running around an entire sector of space doing stuff.
Well, the other thing is we did not really establish at that time, as I've said many times before, the canon was not as established as it became in Next Gen. They weren't really thinking about, like, let's keep this Bibles. Like Adam and I, we've talked about on there about like a show Bible and everything and how it runs. And that's the way a lot of shows became. But they didn't have that back in TOS because it was all episodic. People were like, they only really became nerdy during the reruns and tried to create the universe. The Star Trek universe exists because of the fans after it went off the air. Yeah. So the idea of, like, quadrants, as we had our quadrants debate.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that now. Not doing that.
You can go watch a Latinum Lounge episode where I put together of us arguing what quadrants were with Hitman. But, they use the word quadrant many times, use the word sector many times. Space is vast. I mean, 70,000 light years from the Delta Quadrant where Voyager was to Alpha Quadrant, 70 years. So they didn't really have a good concept of it. JJ Trek just compressed it all, so it all got instantly everywhere. But the original idea was there were only 13 Constitution-class starships originally. And the Enterprise was the one that lasted the longest, which is why then the Enterprise symbol, because every Constitution class have a different symbol on their uniform, Enterprise symbol became the symbol of Starfleet.
And Mr. Go's saying here, that's just one of the Somalian pirate ships. That's what all their ships look like. They have, and that's something else I wanted to bring
Mass Effect.
up. That's something I wanted to bring up here. We no longer exist in a Star Trek galaxy where there are great powers. There's just this rambling ragtag bit of the Federation, and it's just groups. There
aren't even villains.
Yeah, I mean, the Venari Raw, I'll use their real name. They're the big bads of the galaxy because they're organized pirates, and they work with mercenaries like the Furies who eat people. I mean, that's what's going on out there. There's no Klingon Empire because they blew up Kronos. There's no Romulan Star Empire because they already blew that up too. And the
Borg are, they're
well, hippies. We know what happened to the Borg.
Yeah,
we have no idea what happened to Cardassia.
Well, we do. They made a Dax.
Yeah, did you know that?
They made a Dax.
Did you know that it was a Cardassian Trill hybrid? Before I sent that to you, did you know that?
No, we thought it looked like it.
I was randomly looking up some stuff for news.
You're like, there's no spoon on the head. You said there's no spoon on the head.
It's like sort of there, I guess, but yeah, it was the great powers are gone, and they don't even mention the Dominion. We don't know. And listen, there was nothing. Delta Quadrant's already fucked after Janeway left.
There's no like outer rim from another galaxy villain. It has to be pirates.
All right.
That would be a smart thing to do. You could bring in Zong Vong.
Other galaxies are not really dealt with. In one Star Trek Expanded Universe book, one time the Enterprise E that I read, it went through I guess it was a wormhole. Well, they got jumped around. They did get dropped in another galaxy, literally another galaxy where every star was essentially in a Dyson sphere. And all the stars were getting controlled that way, and they had to get the hell out of there real quick. But they don't really touch on other galaxies in Star Trek.
Brad picked up on what I was putting down there with the Yuuzhan Vong. You can't.
I know, and I went by it because I didn't want to make that remark.
Well, I was mainly like I was bringing that up because that was like I'm not connected with Star Wars Extended, but the Yuuzhan Vong is like an interesting concept, like species that does like this biomatter and has like a
Impervious to the force.
It's all biotech.
impervious to
force
the
blind.
force and all that.
Well,
That's an interesting thing that you could bring in, but because I don't know if you have something like that already in Star Trek, but that
You
is
don't.
at least something
closest
that
you have
Wait,
is
wait, species.
liquid
What's
space.
the species?
Species
One.
8462, whatever it's called. I don't remember the numbers.
But
We already
there-
have fluid space. You already have
that's
that.
at least like
Yeah.
an
Dimension.
idea.
That's more another dimension than another galaxy.
Mhm.
Bring in
But
like
at this
a
point,
new-
they need to introduce a villain like that because they've nerfed everything they had. They had a great sandbox, and Kurtzman Trek has just knocked over every sandcastle that was already built.
8472. Thank you.
Yeah.
The other
Although
thing,
I'm
honestly,
Romulan.
if you really think about it, why 1,000 years, 900 years in the future, would they still be using dilithium? Why would you still be using matter antimatter?
Yeah.
I mean, you think, oh, we're perfect. We're just going to use this. They couldn't think of anything else.
I don't despise them. I love them. Sorry.
I'd rather have that than
Love the Vong.
the sequel series.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'd
Anyway.
take Jason and Jane over Ben Solo.
Oh,
any
you
day.
mean the actual, legacy of the Skywalker
The actual sequel
lineage?
to Star Wars? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the actual EU. Different conversation, different type of stream. Anyway, back on track. So Paul Giamatti and Holly Hunter. It's all terrible and great. Holly Hunter, she just sits there with zero range and emotion.
she has
And
a
it's
face.
it's supposed
She
to
doesn't
be
even react when Paul
Mhm.
is monologuing to her own backstory.
because
the
it's supposed to
exposition
be
in
her
this episode
playing
is
him.
Oh,
horrible.
this story's so stupid.
She's supposed to be playing him. That's why leading him along for information, not letting him get under her skin until it's time to
And she
bully him.
accomplishes nothing with that.
Oh, I disagree. And this is what I thought. I thought the whole thing was like they're trying to finally build her up. Like, oh, look, she's been playing it the entire time. Yeah, she says, sit there. Now she's forced to sit there. She has to wear shoes and she can't like lounge in the chair. And
She
she says,
has
sit
to
your
wear
ass down. And I honestly I had this weird thought, like, is he trying to fuck her? I didn't know.
I thought there was a hard-on aspect come on here until we get the reveal at the end. No, it's just a pure hate boner.
No, that's
And
a
even the
fuck
hate is
waiting to happen.
pathetic.
It's
The hate is
you're
pathetic.
He's
such
a
good
pirate. I'm sure
teacher.
he's been to prison before.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that much to hate her for.
Well, he could still just hate her because the Enterprise and you fucked up my systems and shit like that. Yeah, I could have reasons to hate her as like a symbol of it all, but
It's a ridiculous concept. You're such a good teacher. You taught me how to hate better.
It's
Well, yeah,
again,
and
like
his whole
you
explanation is you're immortal, so you need finality, so you hang out with kids.
She's a hybrid too.
Yep.
But
Of course, she's a hybrid.
why would somebody who's essentially immortal just relive a moment over and over and over again?
Well, you don't understand. Their language doesn't have finality to it, so she's stuck in a trauma loop.
Because no one's died from an accident or something like that.
Why would you be stuck in a trauma loop? Why are
What
you
is a
stuck
trauma
in a
loop?
moment
What is a trauma loop?
for all
Why
eternity?
would you use that? Why would you use phrase?
This looks like them trying to rip off Doctor Who.
Yes.
With that, he is a
Yes, I was about to think of the
semi-immortal
same
being, but
thing.
there's still finality to it, and he uses humans to keep himself grounded, to not get lost in lesser species, like thinking I'm better than everybody else. It gets some humility. That's
But it also makes him sad.
Victorious.
And yeah, it makes him very sad when he constantly loses people. So in Doctor Who, it's portrayed as the person who sees it all experiences the most loss and the most finality. So he sees all of these endings.
And Jed, we have that in this series. And the character's name is the Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
That
he's semi-immortal too, apparently.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to rip that off for Holly Hunter.
Remember we talked about that last week.
He doesn't need a portable emitter anymore.
Apparently they're just beings of light.
Well, I was actually going the same way with Doctor Who when I thought about this, but when he dealt with the family of blood and everything, that I guess that would be the closest way to never see like finality, but that would be a punishment, and you're not able to actually leave that thing. But she's able to move, so yeah, Jed had a much better way than I had of doing that.
But the comparison with being around kids to see them graduating as finality is not a comparable argument. But I think they were taking inspiration from Doctor Who in all the worst ways for that. You have narrative meat. All these things that they're robbing from were good where they started. And there were so many things you could do with just individual one of these ideas. Just take, hey, we want a doctor-like character as Holly Hunter, and we'll delve into that and focus on that. But they're stealing so much from so many places that it's just all surface level.
Well,
there's no
depth.
depth.
That's the problem, because when you say they're stealing it in a surface level, what they're doing is literally they're just reading the Wikipedias. Because you have to watch
barely
the
even
stuff.
reading that.
But that you get the essence of it. You don't understand the true depth of the meaning. Like when you see David Tennant says, I miss, he talks about how it feels when he loses them. I lose them all. You see the character, and unless you watch it, you can't say, oh shit, now I'm seeing it. You can read it on a page, and they're not reading any books on it. There's no books that describe the Doctor like that they're probably reading. There are probably novels out there, but you don't get it until you see the actor convey the emotion. And
Brad,
if all you read is a Wikipedia, nothing.
Brad, you made a valid point there. The problem is you're still giving them too much credit. The most they did with Wikipedia is, hey, we're going to Google a name, go to the Wikipedia article, and read the first paragraph.
That's exactly what I mean.
The basic, not even like quotes or anything, just basic info like, hey, Doctor's a mortal time traveler. That's all they got.
They chat GPT'd it.
Yeah, legitimately,
Here's
that's all it is.
Here, let's boil it down in this episode, an example of how they don't get it. The comic book.
Oh, God.
So when the kids break away from the Furies, damn it, you had me doing it to you, the Furies, and go into the bridge with a computer that's having emotional problems, by the way. Did everybody else get that?
My crew is alive. No, they're not dead.
It was in a trauma loop.
What's happening?
It was in a trauma loop. So
I was more confused on why the computer cared about a crew at all.
It makes no sense. So the computers having
they've made them to AI.
meltdown.
They've made the computers AI. That's the problem. The computers just used to be computers. Now it's all AI.
So in order to get the computer calmed down, because they brought it up for a Vulcan college guy, war college guy, his favorite comic book series growing up was based on this ship that they're in now. So he happens
Why
to have
would a
it.
Vulcan read comic books?
He said because it was because it was hopeful. Because many things, I mean, you think about the Vulcans
Hope
always
is an
care
emotion.
about being hopeful. Oh, what?
Listen,
I don't understand.
it was-
Jeff.
That would be a way to develop the blonde-haired gay guy from the war college. He's got nothing besides dreamy eyes at Jaden.
Blonde
him the
college
comic
gay
book.
guy and gay Klingon, they are there purely to hold hands this episode.
Yes.
Jaden literally screams and runs away from battle at one point.
Yes,
He's a
he
great
does.
Klingon.
Oh,
All I know for sure is that the comic books were Starfleet propaganda to indoctrinate the youth to want to join their colonialist efforts.
And do you know how you know that?
Anti-colonialism pissed me off.
Do you know how you know that it's because it went back to the classic time of Starfleet, because they were all wearing Kirk.
That was my next point.
Uniforms.
Yeah, why are they wearing TOS uniforms in that?
Well,
They're only 100 years prior to this.
Did they
tell you what,
take
the
like
guys.
TOS, like the animated series?
No,
turn
that's
it
not the
comic
animated
book
series.
format, but turn it into a comic book format and then just skin race swap everybody? Is that what they ended up doing?
I don't know what they did, but I like the guy with the glasses. I called him Jordy. It's like he carries his long box in like his watch.
I was going to say, wherever they're storing their data, he just happens to have his comic.
Oh wait, I have my comic book collection with me.
Hey guys, want to
That
huddle
helps
up and read
break
a
the
comic?
computer out of its trauma loop.
And that's the thing. The computer has to read the comic in order to stabilize.
To believe that all her crew is dead.
And Sam is the one who has to do it because that's the only reason she's there.
Yes,
She can interface the computer.
Solely a plot.
I swear, I think this comic book is a real world thing that they're trying to market in the show, like High Republic in Jedi Survivor. I think it is an actual comic book that can be
I haven't
purchased.
found it yet.
Look it up.
That's what it feels like, just how blatant and ham-fisted it is in the episode. This episode is surrounding that story.
I think IDW is doing Star Trek stuff. I've seen it. I don't know if Dark Horse is.
Well, it's still drawn in that style because the reason why I brought up the Star Trek animated series because it was drawn in that style, that very old 80s style.
It was no the Star Trek animated series was in the 70s.
Yeah, it was in the 70s.
Okay, but it was that very old that very old comic book style.
It's a different
Actually,
the animation was very stiff in that.
The art in the comic book is very much the art you see in the Star Trek comics that are being put out today because I've looked at them.
Okay.
I remember watching when I was a kid. It was interesting.
There were a couple that were good. Yesteryear was a good one. That's when Spock was back in time and finds us still alive.
When you see Spock as a kid, it was interesting. Problem is, I hadn't seen TOS episodes before, so I was I didn't know what I was looking at as a kid because they had it on before Voltron, so I was going to watch it. Anyway, the comic book is ridiculous and computer trauma, and then of course. They're all on the ship while Holly Hunter is having talks with Paul Giamatti, and Genesis is scanning the dead space because lesbian gym teacher told her she has the best eyes to do it. And Fishboy standing there affirming. Badge is in the sick bay, and nobody else is getting anything done.
There are no other officers on the ship.
Nobody is working to solve the situation. I mean, show me a moment on TNG or DS9 where there was only one option going. There was always multiple options going to try and solve a situation. Or at least smart ideas were given out. Show me a smart idea because when Admiral Dead Fair says we have got a bunch of capital ships. First of all, Brad, when has a capital ship ever been used as a term for Star Trek?
It is not.
Yeah, that's a Star Wars term. A capital ship is a Star Wars term.
What was the?
We've heard the term frigate before, but not capital.
You'll have cruisers. You'll have heavy cruisers. You'll have battleships.
What was
capital ships?
What was the name? What did they classify the ship in? JJ second movie Into Darkness. What was the name? What did
the battleship? That was a battleship. No, they covered Dreadnought. That was a Dreadnought.
Okay.
Yeah, that's also a term not generally used in Star Wars.
Well, I'll tell you what. There are some.
Not for Federation
that had that.
Not for Federation.
No,
ships.
actually for Federation ships.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, there's the original tech manual had that.
I don't.
And at least Dreadnought is actual naval term.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm being corrected. I take it back. I was wrong. Chad is correcting me. You're correcting me. Point is though, no term capital ship. So Admiral Dead Fair says we have a fleet of capital ships. What, an hour away? He says they're really close. And Holly Hunter says, no, we don't want to brute force this. People are going to die.
What would a capital ship
at least get them nearby? Put them on standby.
Well, here's the point. My point is this, though. It goes back to the fast travel conversation. Those ships are really close by. They're close enough to get to where they are quickly. When all of this falls apart and they call in that god-awful version of an Intrepid class ship that they bring in, with the sonic weapon on it from the starbase where all the tech was. Now, let's just take a moment to understand this. So that starbase was close enough that Intrepid ship got there within an hour while all the kids are almost dying on the ship. All right, there was only that single Intrepid class ship was guarding that starbase. There was only one Somalian pirate ship here in order to draw it away. But then they tell us that 6 Somalian pirate ships attacked the starbase. Why were why were 6 Somalian starships afraid of a single Intrepid ship that one destroyed in an instant?
By the way, that same ship was protecting a space where an area where they do stuff that's off the record.
But that's
so they might have secret weapons, but that one Somalian pilot ship in the first episode was able to take on the Athena and nearly beat it unless Caleb was there to magically disable the programmable matter. So if these one ships are able to take out the Athena, they have no problem with that itty-bitty ship.
By the way,
they specifically said half an hour to develop and bring the weapon.
I did look up the term capital ship. It is a Navy term, but the thing is, it just means a ship that's important. That's it. There's no designation. It just means the more important ship that you need to protect.
And it's an even better question here. Sonic weapons in space. That's a good one, prosthetic head. That's a good one. That's a good one. You know, I didn't even occur to me.
Most people don't realize, you can't have sound in space because there's nothing to propagate through.
That's you know, thank you. Good job.
Doctor Who. Sonic screwdriver.
We're not in space.
He doesn't use it out in space.
Oh, that's okay.
In the vacuum.
Fair. That's fair.
And remember,
it's the vacuum.
The Cordis creates atmosphere too. As well,
and also, to be honest, Star Trek was always one of the more science accurate areas. I had this question posed to me in 6th grade, actually. Why does the Death Star explosion not make sense? Couldn't answer it then. Could answer it now. It's because there's no atmosphere. There would not be an explosion.
Star Wars is science fantasy.
Fantasy.
Star Wars is science fantasy. You suspend your disbelief.
But I was just bringing that up as an example of like Star Trek actually handles with this hard science.
Even though you hear phasers and photon torpedoes being fired all the time.
Star Trek is not hard science fiction. It's still soft, so there is still a little bit of that suspension of disbelief. And it's better than most science fiction out there to being scientifically accurate, but it's still far off the mark.
Yeah, you have to just let it go. When it comes to that kind of stuff, you let it go. And in Star Wars, you really let it go because Star Wars is science fantasy. But here, that does make sense, though. Sonic weapon in space. Sonic weapon in space. It's just, it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so we're pretty much done with this. I mean, it was all a trap by Paul Giamatti.
Oh,
yeah, it's some master plan that made no sense. Like you said, didn't need to happen
very soon.
Yeah. So and it's also that they could steal tech and make Holly Hunter feel bad, and Vulcan guy dies, and now
no court martial.
So we got one more thing to talk about before I have 2 things I want to get to because Brad only have to go.
But you did forget. I think
getting
Fish Boy got bit.
No, he didn't. He was on the ship.
Then the other gay guy got bit.
A lot of people got bit, but we have to talk about Princess Tooth and her force yell. Because that's what it was. It was a Sith ability force yell.
No.
Really?
None of this makes sense.
Kingsman style.
It's Dark Phoenix.
None of it makes sense. How can she use Caleb as a vessel to transmit her psychic powers?
She can't. It is it's a psionic blast. Yeah. That's the only thing. It's a psionic blast. At one point I said it's like Banshee or Siren. I forgot about Black Canary. It is a psionic blast, but it makes no sense because she is way on the other ship. You cannot use Caleb as your portal.
You blow his head up too.
Yeah. But that's the thing. She has not. She already says she can't control it. So she rips out her inhibitor.
You need to have sex with someone to have telepathy.
Well, first off, also don't forget that Betazoid Boy said that they feel things. So they already acknowledged that they don't have telepathy for some reason. I don't know what that's about because again, they don't read Star Trek. They just say Deanna's an empath. So somehow she's able to project a psionic blast that is directed only towards the bad guys. That makes no sense. She could not. She does not have that level of control. It is
have that level
nonsensical.
She should
and it just doesn't make sense.
Everybody there.
It doesn't make sense how it works. She just uses him as a portal.
Adam,
everybody should be dead.
Adam, I will tell you how it works.
Okay.
It works very simply.
Okay.
It works like this. That's all it. That's all.
It works because we want it to.
It's really really dumb. All right, so I want to have
remove Star Trek.
I want to have one more conversation then about this in general. There's a very important phrase ever since Wrath of Khan that Star Trek operates by: the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few and the one. And it has been used so well in real Star Trek. I use it a lot in conversations when it comes up. They butcher it in this episode. They have no concept of how it works.
They have the wrong quote.
Isn't it? Didn't he?
The quote is incorrect.
He said it after the teacher.
Well, and he just said some famous officer said it. They didn't even credit Spock.
No, he said a famous officer said.
Well,
first off,
to be fair, is this Kelvin timeline or main timeline? Because
Kind of its
I
own.
meant I differentiate that because
It's not the Kelvin universe.
timeline.
This is main. This is supposed to be main timeline.
Okay, so then technically Kirk didn't say it because Into Darkness.
Spock
Is it Into
actually
Darkness?
said it.
Okay, no, don't worry about Into Darkness. Don't worry.
Well,
about
no,
this-
I bring that up just because if they say
no,
what's famous,
it's
person
Rathacon.
says it,
It's
it could
Rathacon
be-
because.
Spock's
Hold on.
death.
Okay.
Well-
all right, hold on. Here's the problem. First off, the quote
Go
is
ahead.
wrong.
Yeah.
The quote is wrong. The quote is first said when Kirk and Spock are having a conversation in his quarters after Regular Station has been attacked by Khan, and he says, Spock says, logic dictates the senior officer takes command. And he goes, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, and Kirk adds, or the one. Spock does not say or the one. The only time he says that is when he's dying. And they repeat it back to each other. And he says it back to Kirk because he's repeating what Kirk said. Spock never said the full quote. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one. He did not say that. Also, DePaul said it as well in Enterprise. So it is a Vulcan proper idea. But and then of course the twist comes in Star Trek 3 when, well, why did you do this? Because sometimes the needs of the one outweigh the needs of the many. And that's the twist, because now it's like the individual is more important than the collective.
It's all about thinking through each situation individually. It's a philosophical question that there aren't any easy answers to. It's a perfect representation of the trolley problem. There's no winning scenario. There's always going to be different variations. There's going to be times where the individual matters more, other times where the many matters more. You can't have a clear cut this rule all the time. And that's a big thing with Spock, is realizing that there aren't clear-cut rules. That's the little bit of humanism that he gets over the course of the original series, is finding out that there is a case-by-case for all these different things that he believes. And 3 is another example of that.
I'm going to predict what Adam is going to say about this. I'm going to say, just going to set you up like they don't get the words. They don't get what it means.
They get it. They get it in the sense of the more political, because these people are all just message first, everything else second. These people believe in the more communist version of that, where the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. That way, hey, we need to save everybody instead of, the guy sacrifice himself to save everybody else, when in reality,
sacrificing your individual rights, take away people's individual rights instead. But yeah, self-sacrifice is where the needs of the one makes the most sense, adding in that last bit. They don't understand.
Sometimes you take on a little bit of shit just because it can benefit everything else, but sometimes you don't need to take on the little bit of shit.
And here's how I look at it, why they get it so wrong. First of all, as Brad so well put, it's an intimate conversation between Kirk and Spock about command decisions and a test of command. And we've already talked about it today. This episode should have been about being a test of command. The needs of the many versus the needs of the few is about what you will do when you are in the crunch, when you are faced with the no-win scenario. Now, we all can't be Kirk and not believe in the no-win scenario and find a way to cheat to win. Problem is, when you don't understand that you require relationships to have words to have meaning, and Brad is right, these words have meaning when the characters have meaning. None of these characters have meaning. None of these people, none of them have faced these situations of the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the reverse, like Brad said, okay, I'm ready to sacrifice everybody to save you. And they try to fake do it with Princess Tooth. They try to fake do it where she does her sonic scream.
Oh, they fake do it with Bobby.
Yeah.
Bobby jumps in front of the phaser.
Yeah, they fake do it because the whole point of this, and that's the whole problem with this, is that they are forcing these relationships on us that have no traction, no meaning, no connective tissue. And then in the end, they want to twist it around and try and point the finger at Captain Holly Hunter and say, oh, you only care about the few. You don't care about it because you only cared about Caleb. You didn't really care about everything. And it all rings hollow. That is the biggest problem. These are words that are meant to be powerful. And when you just say them without any actual ground build-up, I mean, it works for Kirk and Spock because you have an entire several seasons and 2 movies worth of interactions where they have this ability, this connection These people have known each other for barely a few weeks,
6
few
weeks.
months, 6 weeks. They have had zero on-screen time to build anything together. And up until that point, War College Vulcan has been nothing but an antagonist. We're supposed to believe they're supposed to be buddies, and he's going to teach him a lesson about the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one.
Adam,
No.
he's Vulcan.
Last minute humanizing to make you care
he's
about his
Vulcan.
death.
He was the
He's Vulcan.
only.
He's like Spock.
I don't mean this unironically. I mean this seriously. He was the only good character. With the little bit that they had, he was the only good character because at least he was straightforward. You knew what his whole thought processes were. As shallow of a person he was, and they killed
And
him off
unvulcan
because
as
they
he
wa-
was.
Yeah,
Very
unvulcan
unvulcan.
as he
Very
was.
unvulcan.
Well, was he?
Although he did
Vulcan
have
or
green blood. We
Romulan?
saw the green blood when he got killed.
Mhm.
I thought it was Romulan. Anyways,
No, he's Vulcan. His little
he's
bitch
Vulcan.
friend
The
is
other lady
Romulan.
was Romulan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the
The
other-
And I
double
don't-
bird is Romulan.
they don't understand this whole mentality. They don't understand these whole belief structures. They don't understand what it means to do anything. Because again, they only have this surface level belief structure. They hear things.
Perfect word.
They Wikipedia it. Like the capital ship thing. Capital ship thing. Capital ship has no real meaning behind it. All this stuff. Brad, you're right. They did the whole Wikipedia thing, but they just read that first little introductory paragraph and then move the fuck on. They've never actually engaged in this and ever actually sat there and thought about any of this stuff. They just want to throw it in there to make you say, hey, look, jingle, jingle. I know this is a fucking nail clippers, but jingle, 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 something that you remember. But it rings so fucking hollow to the point that you're just like, what the fuck? Why do you even put it in there?
But
You've never understood this.
This is made for people. And when I say people, I mean retarded fake fans and stans who just need to hear something. And if they recognize it, then they feel like they get it. But they don't get it because when you just
Clapping
hear
seals.
get it, it's the clapping seals. Yeah, it's surface level. It's all surface level. The show is made for surface level, shallow people who only hear one thing and then think, oh, I know that. I know that. It's Captain America and the Avengers. Oh, I got that one. I got that one. That's all it's for.
Makes them feel smart.
It does. It makes them feel smart. Yeah, Jed, you say that to me all the time. These stupid things are written to make the people feel smart who aren't smart. And that's what this is. This trotting out the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few is done to make these fake fans feel as though they get it. And these writers are just as big fake fans because they know the quote. It's a famous quote, but that's all they know. They do not know the meaning. They do not know the story like Brad laid it out. They don't know how it works. And that is why Kurtzman, Trek, and all these people, that's why it all fails because they don't. This is a perfect example of trotting out a classic Star Trek theme and idea and completely dropping the ball because you do not understand how it works. Go ahead, Derby.
Only thing I'm going to push back on is, yes, it's written for those people that have like the surface level belief structures, but the only people that are actually watching this shit all the way through, other than YouTubers that are ripping it apart and streamers and people like that, are individuals that just turn it on for the sake of having something to listen to, barely even listening to it. It's just, oh, look, here's something. I'll do something else while it's playing. That's all it's for.
Yep.
It doesn't even benefit stands. Stands are the bare minimum. Only
Well, they don't rate. We're going to get to that in a minute.
Legitimately, nobody's actively watching this shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is just, and I mean this in all love, it's my dad turning it on while he's eating lunch and not even paying attention.
Yeah. All right.
I got the grill going. We're fine now.
Oh, you good? Oh, okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
So, well, so there it is, though. There it is. So I got one more thing I do want to go over because we have finally been graced with some numbers. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. Usually we do this kind of stuff on Roundtable, but this one's specifically necessary for what we're talking about here. Here we go. There it is. We have our first official ratings from.
Oh, right. It's going to be top
for the
top
premiere.
Five. Top 5.
Oh, Brad, no, it's not.
I had money on this.
No, on originals, it's just not even there.
Odd.
It's
I feel like
nowhere to be found.
Nowhere.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. The ballot boxes have been stuffed. This is stolen election. It's a stolen election.
So not to repeat a lot of what Jed and I said last night, because
Oh, go for it.
I am going to clip that out for a video on my channel. This is really telling, especially when you bring up like Samba TV numbers. Even when you bring up Paramount's own top 10, because you can just simply Google search Paramount Plus top 10, and what both Google says and Paramount says what their top 10 are, and it's rarely Star Trek fucking Academy. It's beautiful. It's so telling, especially when you consider Landman. This was at their season finale. Landman's there in top 3.
All right. Now,
when you bring Samba TV
what
numbers
is his
up
and hers
alongside of this, it's something.
We asked about that last night. Apparently, it's a John Bernthal detective show for wine moms. So it's just thirst for John Bernthal, the show.
Yes.
But 11/22/63 is several years old.
Yes.
Well, all right. No, here's the thing. All right, Derby, finish your thought, and then I want to add something that you guys didn't say last night.
What I'm bringing up is like, if you bring up Samba TV numbers, and I know Samba TV numbers can be compared with Samba TV numbers.
It's a snapshot, but it's a decent snapshot.
Yes. Landman has been in the top 10 for the past several weeks now. And this show, Star Trek and all this, started the same day Landman, or same week when Landman season 2 finale began.
Now,
so when you take a look at where it is right now, chances are Star Trek's never going to come up here. Simultaneously, Knights of the Seven, Knights of the Seven, Knights of the Seven Kingdoms, that had yet to start. So you don't even have that in the top 10 right now when you're looking at all this. So
it's not going to show up. I don't think we're ever going to see
Knights of the Seven
Academy.
Kingdoms is a better example here. Now, you have to remember, when it comes to Nielsen, the way they run their metrics, million minutes views, billion minutes viewed, whatever one you do it, it's a flawed system at Nielsen, because look at this right here. This one here, his and her, that's legitimate number 1. It's only season 6 episodes, season 1. Stranger Things, Landman, The Pit just started its season 2. But Stranger Landman, this is counting all minutes viewed for all seasons. Not just per season. Yeah. Nielsen works now where its minutes are counted for all seasons viewed in that
entire show.
That is why
are put together. It is. So yeah, Stranger
stupid.
Things up there. It's for all 42 episodes of Stranger Things.
Nielsen is great for us. It tells the story about a single season success, where if it manages to, like this, his and her, to break on with only one season, but none of the Star Trek.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Starfleet Academy premiered with 2 episodes, so it had double the minutes watched. So it should be on this list if anything showed up.
It could
2 episodes combined couldn't get on this list.
We've seen it. We've seen it with Rings of Power. We've seen it with when they did the triple release of Wheel of Time season 1. They managed to break on because of the triple episodes, double episodes.
You saw it with Ahsoka. You saw it with whatever the worst version of Star Wars was, which I cannot.
Acolyte. Acolyte didn't break on here. Acolyte never got on until the final episode.
I thought Acolyte did.
No, Acolyte never broke on.
I don't think any Kurtzman Trek has gotten on here except for Picard season 3.
Yes.
But Brad, the bigger thing is, take a look at how few minutes were watched with the bomb. 343. And Jed pointed this out. That means Star Trek had to have had less than that.
Yeah, a double episode.
You had to have less than 343 million minutes viewed.
This measurement system is so effed up. Ever since we went to the binge models.
It is flawed.
I've been saying it for years.
It is flawed, but at the same time, with it being that flawed, it still doesn't track.
Yeah, I mean,
this is original stuff, right?
This is original. Yes. This is original.
So like if they put because that's like how Suits got really big when they started reshowing Suits, which is, in my opinion, just crap show. But like he got really big on restreaming and everything because like, oh, let's go watch this again. So like now I think they got SG1 back on Amazon or something or something. because they want to.
It's been on Amazon for a while now.
But they're going to pump it up because eventually they're going to start their own show, so they're going to get more attention on it.
Yep.
I think Smallville is gone to Netflix or something.
I don't know.
I think it's still Hulu.
But the thing is, when they reshow these shows, these are old shows, and they're getting more views on it. So, like, it does none. Sorry, none of this makes any sense. Old rating systems, like in the 1980s, you turn on, you look at them. Like I remember looking at USA Today, like the Nielsen ratings. Here's Cosby Show. Here's Family Ties. Here's Cheers. Here's Night Court. All in the top 10. You know, because they watch it every week. Now you can. I don't understand the system. The numbers are messed.
Broken. No,
actually,
it is completely
entirely
broken.
Yeah,
Jed, to my point that I was making last night, that there's a small chance, like astronomically tiny chance, that it'll show up in like the last 2 episodes, because we're supposed to end up having the season finale of the Knights of the Seven Kingdom here, not this weekend, but next weekend. You have 2 episodes left that you have a chance. Thing to push back on that is I'm taking a look at this, and I didn't realize this last night. The Traitors is on here. That's a Peacock show. That's it. That's fucking Peacock. Nobody subscribes to Peacock. Nobody subscribes to Paramount Plus. Nobody subscribes to Peacock. The Traitors is fucking on here. Jed, do you want to know what just released last weekend?
What?
The extended cut of The Office season finale released just last weekend. Do you want to know what's probably going to be on here within the next week if Traitors is on here?
Probably The Office, yeah.
Yep.
And it'll count all of The Office. And that includes the different versions that they have. They'll all go to the same place. And they should at least divide the seasons up with the Nielsen's. At least do that.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's my overall point on this. With a double episode release, which we've seen single seasons do when they do track enough, they manage to break in with all these other things that have all their multiple season minutes counted. Academy couldn't do it. It couldn't do it.
And I don't think it will. I actually was just looking up, and according to this search, Picard Season 3 was the first Kurtzman track to ever show up in the Nielsen's at all. Apparently, Discovery and Strange New Worlds got to the low spots occasionally, but Picard was consistent.
I know everybody makes fun of him. Beanie Boy, the only way he's even engaging with Academy is through people like Nerdrotic, Critical Drinker, and all the reviews on YouTube. He's not even touching Paramount to watch this show.
Oh, yeah,
nobody
should be.
Nobody is. This proves right here. It also proves don't do double episode drops. They really don't work. They don't work. It's you're not going to break it. We need to understand the rating system doesn't mean shit anymore. I mean, that's why I said Samba is a better in the moment metric, because at least it's an old style Nielsen thing where it's showing you what people watched just that week. It's just what they watched connected to their device or their TV. So, but like Dermy said, Samba doesn't even rank on Samba. Can't even get on there. And Samba releases weekly numbers. And we are 6 weeks in now, hasn't been on there once. We said the same thing for The Acolyte. We said the same thing for Rings of Power. These things, these horrible shows do not get on because they're only watched by us. More people watch us and larger channels, review channels, than watch the actual show because they want to watch us make fun of it. They want to watch us tear it apart. They want to watch us talk about the real shit in comparison to the dog shit. They're not here. They don't want to watch it. And and it's clear. And Jed, I think you said this last night. Where are all the stands? Where are all the stands that we showed you an example earlier in the stream? Where are all the stands that constantly tell us on X, on Facebook, wherever that, everybody actually watched the show. Don't listen to the hate mongers. Don't listen to the chuds. They're just toxic. They're just getting. They just want hate clicks. Where are all those people that apparently that are watching
chronically
the show
online inbred people thinking that they're representative of the whole world? They're dysfunctional people. Real people just aren't turning it on and aren't thinking about it, aren't tweeting about it.
The reason people like to hammer on like Landman or freaking Tulsa King or any of the Taylor Sheridan shows, the reason people hammer on those points, when whenever the Nielsen data comes out simultaneously with a Disney Plus show or a Netflix show or whatever. The reason they do that is because Paramount Plus has the lowest amount of subscribers to that actual platform. It's a garbage. It's a garbage platform anywhere. Okay, but they hammer that point because of that sad little fact. And seeing Landman season finale in number 3 tells you just how fucking popular it was. Tells you how successful it was that a platform with the smallest amount of subscriber base, period, makes it up there. And then their flagship show, Academy, can't even touch it. Can't even.
Landman is significantly better. Oh my god.
Well, here's the thing to Wolfenstead. Considering it's streaming and its services around the world, I have to assume it takes in all viewership around the world.
For these streaming services, yes, that's how it calculates it. There are places that are getting it through alternate methods that wouldn't show up here. For example, HBO Max is only now just getting into England. They get a lot of their shows through, I think it's Sky TV over there. The Sky TV numbers aren't counting towards this, but if it's a different nation that has access to HBO Max, those would be added to the pit here, for example. So if you're watching it on the same platform anywhere in the world, it counts towards these.
Nielsen's do that. I think when it comes to Samba, I think they only track America.
Yeah, Samba's different. Samba is absolutely different. They're only smart TVs in the US. So that's why we always say only compare Sambas to Sambas, because it's such a small...
But it's a good snapshot. It's a good snapshot and moment of time. And thank you, Setlick, on Stream Elements, for the $20. He just tells us to live long and prosper. Anyway, so yeah, Samba is a great way to Samba's the perfect thing for this is a moment in time. And yeah, it's only America, but you can then extrapolate from there. That's why evaluation is an important term and a thing. I once took a course on evaluation where it's there to it's there to estimate. And Samba is a good way to estimate who is watching and what is working. These shows never work repeatedly. Whether it's like I said, Disney Star Wars, Shooty Who never worked either. Shooty Who never cracked.
It never really got on bar.
Why are these people allergic to money?
Because ideology is more important than money, Brad. Ideology is more important than money.
One of the big things that one of the big things you will probably not hear even a microscopic amount of how well Starfleet did until the end of the year when they do their year-round review of like what tracked where. And that's not going to be until like November, December, because they'll do like, hey, what was the top 90 or 100 stream shows this year? And like last year, you ended up figuring out like Daredevil streamed at like 98, 97, something like that. If it even reaches that point, you won't know until like December.
And this thing's going to be forgotten as soon as it's over.
Oh yeah,
and then they'll ramp it up again for season 2 because we know there's season 2 coming. We do
know it's coming.
Bought and paid for.
And the estimates for how much season 1 cost is around $100 to $150 million.
$10 million
not getting any money back.
So divide that by 10. I don't do math, but that's
like $10 to $11 million an episode. It's all I told you guys, it's electric bill for all the lens flare.
So there it is. These ratings are a disaster, and we're gonna keep making fun of them because it's funny.
Real quick, Dorian Weed. The only thing I'll push back on that notion of Peacock is better than Paramount. Peacock has The Office and That 70 Show and like access to Universal's movies. That's about it.
And the only reason there's season 2 because this is the kind of thing that they do now. They buy episodes. They buy an episode count. So they probably bought 20 episodes.
Yep.
And
that's what they did.
They decided to just cut it in half and then boom, that way they can spread it out to 2 seasons. That's what they did. This was not renewed for season 2.
Kurtzman will not be employed when season 2 comes out. They will not renew his contract this summer.
And that's what I've said. I've been saying this since we started talking about this. This is the end of Kurtzman Trek because his contract is up at the end of the year.
And what a whimper it is.
Yeah. And if his contract doesn't get renewed, then it's done. It is over. The nightmare ends. But the problem is the damage has been done.
And realize that Taylor Sheridan, they let walk For
Yeah.
they might renegotiate, but Taylor Sheridan
They
isn't
literally
leaving
did let him
until
walk. They just let him go.
he's not leaving until 2028. Paramount is nothing without Taylor Sheridan.
Nope.
They're
Landman,
gonna-
Yellowstone,
with
Tulsa
the new
King.
with the new acquisition, there could be a discussion, there could be talks or whatever, but anytime soon, right now within 2028, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way Paramount survives after that point, unless they get somebody at least on the level of Taylor Sheridan.
Well, well, I mean, I always said that's why they were so hot to get Warner
HBO.
Brothers.
Yeah.
Because you may not have anybody there, but you had their library, their catalog.
Mm-hmm.
But now that's just kabuki theater. Now that's all
They're just sitting there on their knees begging, and
yeah, it's sad. The whole thing turned out to be sad.
yeah,
I mean, Netflix
Do
might
we
still
have any
fall through.
guesses on what Skydance is going to do with Star Trek after Kirk?
Yes, they have said.
They
There's
said
an
they're
article.
gonna try
Well,
something.
I know they
new,
had talked
but-
about new JJ
no.
Trek, but
No.
Not
They canceled
JJ.
that. No, they're going in a new direction.
Yeah.
Not JJ Trek, not Kirsten Trek, not necessarily old Trek. We don't. That's all we
Who
know.
was-
They're going in a new
God, I
direction.
hope
We
they
don't
just
know.
hire
Just-
Terry Metalis.
That's
Say
who
you're
I
in
was
No, they
charge
won't do
now.
it.
They won't.
He's not coming back.
No,
There's
he's
so-
a Disney employee now.
well, he is a Disney
Which-
employee.
The only way
The
to get a
old-
downgrade.
They could find somebody, and I'm just saying this as an option, not to instill any hope in anybody, but just like this could potentially happen because of the new owners and everything like that. They could find somebody like a Brad. They could attempt to find somebody.
They need to put it
I
on
don't
the
think
shelf.
it's gonna happen because I don't want to give
They
anybody
need
hope.
5 years off.
They need a shelf, and then they need to do a TNG. They need to jump 100 years from the point that we
Mhm.
last left after the end
Yep.
of Nemesis. From the end of that, and I've said this before. I will sacrifice Picard season 3 in a second.
Yeah, no problem.
If we just jump 100 years forward, new crew, fuck it. Just give me a new Enterprise. I don't care what.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just new crew. Just do something that way. Separate it.
Correct me. Could you do something after Enterprise? Just
No.
as a
That's
just
a
I would
prequel.
say no.
It's a prequel.
Well, they're
no,
trying.
I mean,
hold on,
Discovery was the
no,
game after
hold on, no,
Enterprise.
T.O.
we ignore that.
They're Scott Bakula and some other people are talking about the Captain Archer, President Archer series.
Yeah.
It's
don't-
not going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't
not
want
gonna
that.
happen.
But what I was talking about is, could you find a way, just for the meantime, find a decent? If you have the capability and the knowledge, and probably not going to happen in our lifetime.
I'm going to tell you why it's not going
Could
to
you
work.
do a show in the between?
I'm going to tell you why it's not going
OT?
to work.
And I'm
Yeah.
saying OT just because I can't.
I know what
think
you
of
mean.
what
I know
it-
what you mean. I know what you mean.
what it
I'll tell you
means
why
or-
it won't work.
An Enterprise,
Go ahead.
just to do like
I'll tell you-
establishing
I will-
it all.
I'll
think I
explain
know
to
what
you
you're
why
gonna
it will
say.
not work.
I think I'm gonna say.
Because to do that, you have to maintain continuity, which means you have to maintain continuity with what you saw in the 1960s for Star Trek. And this series today would not do that, which is why, even though Discovery was taking place before TOS, it did not look like TOS. There's an episode, oh shit, Fractured or Hitman. If you're watching, jump the fuck off right now because I'm spoiling shit. Trials and Tribulations. It is a DS9 episode. It is fantastic. They go back in time. The DS9 crew goes back in time to Trouble with Triples episode, and they replicated
Great.
the Enterprise. They replicated the Enterprise.
And
I
the
just-
technology. they just-
Everything.
Everybody. It was such a seamless.
It's
I've
not
seen
Scene
it
at
looked
the
just the
end
same.
with Kirk and
And
what's his bucket? Cisco
Cisco
on the
getting his
bridge.
autograph.
It's
Yeah.
so seamless. They
I
did
just-
a great job.
Did you
I also
anything
just-
else to alter the timeline? No.
I also just
No,
realized that it
no.
won't work because unless they retcon all of Kurtzman Trek because
Oh, you
Oh,
just-
it's,
you
no,
said
no,
it
no.
didn't
There's no
happen.
retconning it. There's just getting
You-
rid of it.
you would have to just
You can
completely
retcon
just-
Doctor Who with the Master Lies.
Master
You would have to
Lies.
completely get rid of Kurtzman Trek to even do my idea, because
yeah.
my idea was like you could try to just work around it. My idea does
Same
not
thing with Star
work
Wars.
because Strange New Worlds exists.
Yeah.
Strange
Yeah,
New
that's the
Worlds
thing.
and
The-
Discovery fill in that
No
gap.
prequels.
The audience
No more
expects the audience expects that level of effects and technology. So the only way to make it work is to go ahead 100 years. You can't go backwards. You can't do the in between time.
Yeah.
You could do it in a animated series. You do it in a comic book. You do it in a novel, but you cannot do it live action. You have to go forward. That's the only way the modern audience would accept it.
You can't do it in animated because of lower decks. Can't do it in a novel because nobody's gonna read the novel. I'm sorry.
know,
It's
but
just
no
possible.
prequels. I'm sick of
You
prequels.
have-
No more prequels.
As a one-off,
right.
maybe like as a Doctor Who fan, the only prequel I'm remotely interested in is I would like a mini series of Paul McGann as the Doctor. He never got a
Yes.
chance. Get some
Yes.
good writing. That Night of the Doctor shorts episode.
Oh, that was amazing.
Great. That was great. So if you
That was
want to,
7
like, someone
minutes.
comes
It's amazing.
in, takes over the franchise, decanonizes Chibnall and RTD2, and just says, "All right, we're going to take a few years and figure out where the show goes from here, right? But in the meantime, just to put a little juice in the franchise, we're going to have somebody else working on a mini series, just one season of Paul McGann." That's a situation where I could see a prequel working. But in Star Trek, you could never. There's nothing equivalent to giving Paul McGann the shot that he'd want. So
I want
just a blatant no prequel statement.
I want to John. I know I'll never.
John
get it.
Hurt
want
wouldn't.
John
I mean, if
Hurt.
he were alive, a War Doctor one wouldn't be terrible. But I much prefer Paul McGann. And the War Doctor, I like what they do with him, but I
was a Band-Aid.
like the original timeline of things.
it was
the
a
original
band-
plan to have Christopher
War Doctor was
Eccleston.
a Band-Aid.
There was a
That's the
Band-Aid
problem.
because of Christopher Eccleston, but I like John Hurt.
Yeah.
I like
It,
him.
it does
You
make
know,
more
like John
sense
Hurt.
for it to be Paul McGann or the War Doctor, because Christopher Eccleston in his first episode, Rose, specifically talks. He's reacting to his ears. He's just regenerated. He hasn't really gotten used to his face yet. So that is new
So,
Eccleston.
but no more prequels. You have to jump forward in time, do what TNG did, have some respect early on, and then create new going forward. And honestly, I would start off just be episodic. Don't go serialized. Don't do DS9. Be episodic.
wait a few
Go
seasons,
back to your roots and see what develops. Because let's be honest, we've covered a lot of territory in all 4 quadrants right now. So you'd have to have somebody really intelligent to come up with a new idea to explore strange new worlds and stuff like that. You need something new. So right now, the best thing to do once Cursor Trek ends after this, put it on a shelf, let it rest, and then get somebody smart to run.
We've talked more about other ideas in this goddamn episode.
Oh, I mean, that's the obvious thing to do here. Brett, I'm sure you and Adam can both answer this question, but is there a quadrant of the galaxy in Star Trek by the end of TNG, Nemesis, all that stuff that isn't very much explored?
We
No,
really haven't
we've
gotten
only-
into the beta quadrant.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could go deeper into the beta quadrant, but that's about it, maybe. Because
Honestly, you can go much deeper into gamma. You can go much deeper into delta.
I mean,
Alpha's
well,
I think that would be
the only-
really interesting is
Yeah,
the new show
yeah.
that we're talking about, the hypothetical new Enterprise. It's like we've got a new advanced version of the warp drive where this other quadrant is within reach now. And you're going out like the original Enterprise in the original series is you're on a 5-year journey just to break into this new quadrant and start introducing
what we
ourselves
could,
to them.
considering it would be taking place post DS9 Dominion War, you could actually go into the Gamma Quadrant now and explore it and see what happens there as the Federation expands. That as maybe deals are made with Dominion, you could go there. And because I know, because both Sam and Kel have told me what goes on in Star Trek Online, they have explored a post Delta Quadrant where fixing the mistakes Janeway made. So, but I'm more interested. I'd be more interested in the Gamma Quadrant because of the wormhole. You can go back and forth. You don't have to deal with transwarp conduits or anything like that to get to the Delta Quadrant. To get to the Gamma Quadrant, you have the wormhole, and it could bring DS9 back a little bit too. You know, we could have episodes where you circle back there. So there is plays to do it, but you need somebody smart. You need to be smart, and you need to. And as much as I love serialization, you need to
build up to it.
You need bottles.
The only thing that should be serialized is characters, not the storyline.
That's why I say
eventually maybe
you don't
build
go
up to a
DS9. You go TNG. You go the route of TNG.
More continuity of character.
And you do everything possible to eliminate shit like the Enterprise K. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. Looks terrible.
Can you imagine if we were the writer's room for new Star Trek? That's like the dream job.
I don't know if I could write Star Trek. I know the history.
That's the one I feel like I could do. I wouldn't want to do Star Wars. I couldn't do Star Wars.
I would be more.
Realistic.
I would be more the canon doctor. That would I be.
Yeah.
I'm not
I mean, just like Brad. I know I know what sounds right, but I don't know if I'm smart enough to. Not the way I write. I don't know if I can write that type of story. I'd much rather be brought on for continuity. You know, does it fit in? This already been done? Are we mirroring a past episode? Are we paying proper homage? So I don't know. I don't have so much pride that I can't admit that I don't know I couldn't do it. All right, we're done. We're done. Let's go. We'll go with Dermy last since he got up for a minute here.
Yep.
Brad, what are we doing tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night we'll be watching part 2 of the episode Past Tense on Deep Space Nine, going back to 2024 San Francisco. Oddly prescient, kind of similar, less poop. Also, just so you know, I published an episode. I can't believe this is fucking happening. I published an episode of the Latinum Lounge today, episode 7, and it is me, Adam, and Hitman and Fracture Filter spending 50 minutes talking about the first 2 episodes of Star Trek Academy. I already have, in the 5 hours it went been out, 325 views.
It's good stuff because Hitman can't comprehend what we're telling him. Why is this happening? We're trying. It's
also
bad.
Of course, I have my Starfleet Academy review, which I got copyright notices on, not strikes, because I used too many clips. But I'm almost at 700 views, and I'm almost at 500 subscribers. Holy shit! What is going on here? Otherwise, watch us next week for Past Tense Part 2. I will be on Joker Voices channel talking about wrestling, and Static 2020 channel when he tortures us with horrible, cringy TikTok videos. And back for next week. And I don't even know what next week is.
I have no idea. It's blind. I don't know. And that's the way I like it. Jed, I bet you're sure blind after all this.
There's many things that make me wish I was blind. But you can all find me Endless Frontiers on YouTube, regularly scheduled live streams. The Rider Flight podcast this week will most likely be on Tuesday later on in the afternoon around 4 o'clock. We got a friend visiting, and I get airport stuff, so got to rearrange some things a little bit. Might need to rearrange Jump Space, but not quite sure yet, Adam.
Let me know
on that.
Hey,
if that's all right.
I'm fine.
And then other than that, next Thursday, the Starfleet Academy review will be up sometime in the afternoon. I'll try to stream some more Star Wars Genesis when I get a chance. It's actually a really fun game. I'm enjoying Star Wars Genesis far more than Starfield or Jedi Survivor, which I just played. It's actually phenomenal what those modders were able to do with that game. So tune into that, and then right back around here for this review stream where No Man Wants to Go next week. Actually, and later on tonight, Adam, we have a video coming out in an hour, our recorded edition of Saturday Night Drive-In, where Adam and I talk about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, will be out. If you're watching on my channel, you'll automatically be redirected there once the stream is over.
You know, I'm glad you said it. I forgot I have to upload it. I forgot again. Dermy.
Yes.
Pitch your wares.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Wormy of Jeremy Wormy. Hopefully I will have my stream here at 8:15. It is fighting me right now, which is so fucking casual.
Smack it around and call it a name.
I am trying to. I'm trying to smack it around and call it a name because I have the stream already set up. It should be going at about 8:15 p.m. It's just not wanting to play with me correctly. So yeah, we will do that safe word. Then. Oh, I've already tried. Okay. We'll be doing that. I have a couple things to talk about before we get into like Persona 5. I have like a couple dumb things and then like some serious shit. So we will do all that then. And yeah, charity as usual, Monday through Friday. Well, no, Monday through Thursday.
When are you going to talk about Hollow Earth?
Hollow Earth, I'm saving that for Friday with you, Jen, especially for you.
I'm gonna take the week off again. Anyway,
no, you'll be there.
Anyway, as for me, I am done after tonight. We return to normal streaming tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Roundtable. We'll go over the week's events, talk about a few things here and there. I, of course, will be joining Brad, Hitman, and Fractured as we talk Deep Space Nine. You can see those edited up on Brad's channel every Wednesday night. And then the week goes back to normal week. I took my week off. I'm feeling better. We begin the week as usual every Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern. The Daily Dive, the Double Ds, where you, the chat, the audience, the gatekeepers. You are in this chat. You are a gatekeeper. Be proud of it. where we fight to protect everything. You guys join me for that. And we'll do some more gaming this week, stuff like that. And then, of course, next week you can catch my review of Academy Episode 7 when it comes out. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. We appreciate you guys hanging out. You guys are great, asking great questions. We'll see you guys next week. Until then, take it easy.